This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Can you believe I almost just finished this game without recording it twice? Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare here with Let's End This, and this time it's Foreclosed? I think it's Foreclosed. Now I have to look at my notes again. Yeah, Foreclosed, a cyberpunk, pretty much straightforward game with some minor puzzling, some minor stealth, combat, and stuff like that, trying to be a bit of everything. A jack of all trades, as it were. Now, is it good at any of those? Sort of. It never goes far enough. And this game's really short. Like, I only played it for a couple hours. I'm almost done. Like, we're at the final.
Once all contracts were duly signed, my last job was to make sure the official receiver would validate them and upload them into the blockchain before the auction.
Yeah, so we're just pretty much done. Like, I thought, okay, I'll do the court, and then I thought there'd be like maybe like one final section to get back our identity and all this other stuff, but I had to check some. I usually do like a quick check on like how long a game is and what the name of the chapter is, and I looked up like the court to see how long it was, if there was how many levels were afterwards, and I was like, that's it afterwards? I was like, oh, well, this is gonna be probably a short video, because it was like only an hour or so after I left you guys in the first impressions. For those who watched that, I got straight to this. Before this, I had to find a lawyer, and I had to find like a guy to accept the bidding for my to get to the court or whatever, to get my identity back, and those levels didn't take very long at all. So yeah, I guess let's see if we throughout our whole journey, we're basically just a man who got caught in between a transaction, from what one guy said. So we weren't specifically targeted ourselves, but because of the actions of those on top, we were affected, and our friends were killed, and they were after us, and conveniently the implant we have inside of us wants us to live, because I guess some programming in it that makes it want to, a survival instinct, and so it's been upgrading itself to keep us alive, giving us like telekinetic powers and hacking skills and stuff like that. So yeah, the game tries to mix like all these different things into a cyberpunk game that's kind of odd. So I'm not sure how to feel about it, but let's play the rest of the game and see how it ends. All right, and I've already maxed out all. Oh yeah, I can't check my gun until we actually get into combat. It's all about your research, huh? Well, as long as we're not... Oh yeah, that little sound effect, for those who didn't watch the first video, it's basically the game programmed the certain call dialogue to come through my controller, so I had to put it so close to the mic, and hopefully it's not super loud, otherwise I'll have to mess with the audio on that. And it's abrupt too, so I'm like, oh, I gotta put my controller up, otherwise you won't be able to hear it. You'll just see the text in the game, and I'm like, okay. So yeah. Alright, let's go up. Oh yeah, and for those who aren't aware, this game uses onomatopoeia, and
I was alone, exhausted, and I was taking my last steps without even knowing if I wanted to. Did I ever really have a choice? On a path that seemed to have no direction, the hands of the holographic clock were about to complete their round, and so was I.
But anyway, this game uses like onomatopoeia, obviously similar to like a comic book, and it does have a comic book / graphic novel feel. And unfortunately, this game has like a lot of scenes where you die, and there's not unique. This game doesn't have like a lot of unique death scenes or anything like that. Just you die, it just says retry. And I was like, for such an indie game that's so short, you think they would have put a bit more effort into like maybe unique deaths or dialogue when you die at certain points or whatever, but I don't know, it just seems pretty straightforward. Maybe this is a first project for some people and they were just using it as a test run for later games, but anyway, we'll continue playing as we do the simple puzzle.
Mr. Cavnos.
And he's the guy who... build a bit of slowdown there. He's the guy who... Foreclosed? I forgot the concept. Basically, he sent police after us if we couldn't get to the court within a certain time period about our identity, because our company went bankrupt. Well, we worked for a company, and because it went bankrupt, like our identity got sent back to the government, and so we didn't have an identity. It's crazy stuff. Anyway, let's see. I'm here on behalf of Dahlia Akari. She's the boss of Secure Tech, who's been helping us apparently. because of her research, she got her company got bought out from under her or something like that, and then basically the guy was a guy made sure a company went bankrupt so he could buy it for pennies on the dollar, that type of thing, and then either sell it or for a greater profit, that type of thing. Here's the full and final sentiment for secure tech step. Load into the blockchain. All creditors side. Secure tech is free. Validate the transaction and cancel the auction.
You really can't find peace, Capnos. You are persistent, I have to admit. And yet I can't really understand you.
What do you mean, understand me? This is straightforward. I forgot what his role in all this. I mean, I was paying attention to the story, but I'll have to admit, folks, I wasn't invested enough. Even while I was playing it, despite how short it is, I was like, whatever. I know I hate being like that, but just if a game just doesn't grip me enough or the story isn't interesting enough, I'm just like, I just shrug my shoulders at it, you know. So, is it really so? Or see, what do you mean? Or is it really so difficult for you?
You fought with all your strength against every single order, and all of that to go back to being a property of secure tech?
I'm just validating this transaction. I'm losing my patience. I guess I'm fine with being a cog in the machine in this world.
See, Capnos, to approve those transactions in these circumstances would represent a failure of the system that is my duty to defend. Sure, you could kill me at any time, come here and validate the transactions yourself. The auction would be cancelled, the state would suffer a loss, but you would get back to your life. Now, the question is that really what you want?
Oh, so I don't want to go back to my life? I don't get this guy at all. He's like basically trying to talk circles around you about duty, and it's not, we weren't targeting you and all this other stuff. You're like, dude, you're still doing all this stuff. I don't. What's your point? Don't play mind games with me.
As I already told you, none of this is about you, and that's why I'd like to provide an option. If you refrain from killing me and allow me to prevent this fraud against the state, I'll pass your file to the Defense Department. During the reactivation of your identity, mind bullards will be inactive for a few hours. They will hunt you, Mr. Capnos, but you'll have the chance to escape the city. I'm offering you the closest thing to freedom.
Well, I guess we have to kill him, right? Otherwise, I was thinking if there was a chance to just. This game gives a lot of chances where you like hold off on stuff, and I keep thinking that, oh, if I just wait a little bit longer, I'll get like a death scene or some unique dialogue for not doing it, but nothing ever comes up. So it's just, I guess you could almost consider this game, despite the action scenes, almost more of a kinetic novel to an extent, except in like a few instances. I don't know. Okay, I was just waiting a few seconds just to see if there's anything for not aiming. So okay, nothing. So let's just play along with it.
The most important choice of my life was one click away from me.
Oh, is this where we get the choice? We couldn't do it at the gun part. Okay, I guess I'm just misguessing or whatever. Kill the official receiver, take your revenge, and get back to the everyday life at Secure Tech. Shoot the floor, take your chance to escape the city and start a new life as a fugitive. I guess I'll try to show both endings, because there is a chapter select after you beat the game. So maybe we can play the final chapter and I can show that. So yeah, let's take his mind game. Let's see if his manipulation worked or not.
Mr. Evan Capnos, identity implant KPN 4722. For assessment reasons, your ID will be temporarily restored and reported to the Defense Department. While implementing the change, all restrictive measures will be inactive. Until the transition is complete, you are required to not leave the city, or you will be considered non-compliant. Have a nice day, Mr. Capnos.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Seems kind of abrupt. I mean, I wasn't expecting like a full line of dialogue or like a whole... Actually, I was kind of expecting a film noir type of thing, talking about his, you know, Life on the Run or something like that afterwards. I guess it's supposed to be cinematic, that it's the guy saying all this and then it ends. But let's see, David Botcher, Andy Mack, Tiffany Watch-Witcher. I don't recognize any of those voice actors, so they must have been in-house or a small voice acting studio or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this game. I really hate being like a negative Nancy when it comes to stuff like that, because, you know, you can tell that, I mean, you can see all the people that worked on it, that there was effort in it. It wasn't super janky, because when I did the first impressions video, I had it not updated at its current, like, whatever patch is, and I didn't see any major bugs with it, so it was already good to go from the very beginning. And then with the patch, I didn't notice anything different. I don't know, it's probably just everyday life type of situation. Oh, here we go. Maybe we get a little extra for the ending. Let's see. The intel. This is how you get like extra experience at the game, is absorbing intel or whatever.
Wait. Someone hijacked the signal. Unplug everything.
I guess that's me being a fugitive and leaving or something? I don't know. Like I said, it's not a terrible game. It's just, I don't know. I guess they had a story to tell and they told it, but I don't know if it was well done as a story. I mean, I would probably give the game like an average, like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, it might be more interesting to some. Actually, what does continue do? Does it just take me back to the ending, or does it take me back to the beginning? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can skip through. No, I can't skip that, unfortunately. No, yeah. I was, whoa, ah! I didn't mean to do that. I pressed the options menu and I can delete that later. It's not even that big of a thing. And it's all about your research. But yeah, like, I guess the guy was truthful with us. He basically made sure that we had a chance to escape before being sent to the authorities. So I wonder if that, I guess that's supposed to be the ambiguous ending, that you're like, oh man, I don't know, am I, is this the way to go, you know? And I guess that makes for a better story, because usually in the world of cyberpunk, it's usually, I don't know, I guess it depends how you view things. It's supposed to be not black and white, because of the whole corporations basically being government, and there's so much red tape in the real world because of government and corporations trying to do everything to protect themselves more than the people, and everyone just works for some group. And there are the handful of people that don't, but and so, you know, do you just stay working and secure, or do you have your own freedoms, but you're outside the system and you'll never be able to get the same things that most people part of the system would do? So, let's see, just blockchain. I doubt that changes the dialogue. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Really can't find
usually it's more of a, just a personal preference. A lot of the dialogue is, there was only like one dialogue, actually two, I guess technically two. The ending here with this guy, and then there was another guy you could just straight out like leave alive. You could either shoot him or leave him alive. I think it was called the Expert or whatever. It was like this mission. I think it was the mission after I finished the previous one. And you could either choose to kill him or let him go. And I just killed him, and he's just like, you know, I guess no one killed him because he was technically outside the system. So that was pretty. That was an interesting way of looking at it. Their way at humor.
You could kill me at any time. Come here and validate the transactions yourself. The auction would be cancelled. The state would suffer a loss, but you would get back to your life. Now, the question is...
I don't know why I was listening to it. It's the exact same, his exact same response and everything. So I was like, listen to it as if something was going to be different about it or something like that.
None of this is about you.
But nope, nothing different. All the same lines. What is it? Illusion of choice, I guess is what you'd call it. But like I said, it's a 3 to 4 hour game. And what do you really expect from something that short? You know, I mean, you can get either really great, good visuals and basically a straightforward story, or you can get a lot of choice, but it'd be very bare bones, like 8-bit and stuff like that. So you have to choose how you want to look at that. So let's just aim at his face and shoot him in the face. In the face. Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard that, like that noise that pops up when he pulls out the gun. It sounded like stock footage audio I've heard before from like other YouTube channels. Yeah, kill the receiver. And then go right back to being a a desk jockey again. Yep, and that's it for the end. So you just become part of the COG once again after shooting the guy. So let's just skip the credits and listen to the end.
Wait, someone hijacked the signal. Unplug everything.
Wait, what? That's just the exact same end. What's the difference? Huh. Okay. Well then. And then yeah, when you beat the game, you finally get to play like some of the levels. I think I missed. There was you could get some intel throughout the game to grade your level. I think I missed like 2 or 3 of them. I think because even though I maxed out my experience, I feel like I missed some over the course. I think there's an achievement for that, but I'm not 100% sure. And there's like achievements for like telekinesing guys, lifting them, throwing crap at them, sneak attacking them, stuff like that. And you can just replay old levels to take care of that. So overall, like I said, the game is, I would say, okay. Like, sorry about that. I had a little technical issue there. Perhaps I was hacked by whoever this group is. But anyway, as I was saying before that happened, yeah, like I said, I think the gameplay is straightforward. It's, you know, stealth and action, nothing too broken. There's a few weird issues with aiming, like I swear it hit the head and then it didn't hit the head, stuff like that. But that's like minor issue at best. Oh yeah, I didn't even show any combat for you in the finale here because I finished it so quickly. But basically, yeah, it's just third person. I guess I could show off. Let me see if there's a good. Let's see. Yeah, choosing game, whatever. I don't care. I just want to show off what the combat was and some of the. I think I had max abilities by this point, or at least I had a good deal of them. Actually, maybe I should have chosen the previous one, like right before this, or whatever. And yeah, the game does stuff like this like a lot, where it sets like a specific camera and stuff like that. As you're moving around, and you know, gives you prompts to be sneaky. Let me see if my it gives me just all my experience as is. So, and you can rebuy them. But yeah, you can. So you can do 2 things in the game. You could like affect your gun, like what it can do, like shoot bullets. You can either increase the shoot rate, it explodes on impact when it shoots things, so maybe it hits multiple people depending. Can penetrate armor, which after you get a certain item, that's not that big of a deal. Penetrate energy shields, that's not a big deal if you get the lift ability. Telekinesis, that's really nice. It helps. It basically just almost auto aims for you, and reduces the implant heating when using powers. So you can't use your powers willy-nilly. You build up brain. You can fry your brain if you do that. So you just buy everything, and I can show you a couple of things you can do before we call it, since I didn't expect this to be such a short video. Mainly because I didn't pay attention. I thought I had at least a few more hours on this before it was already over. Let me show. Well, one thing you can do if you can stealth them. Oops. If you can stealth them correctly, you can just walk up to them and fry their brain like this. If I can get close enough. And if you just press triangle, you kill them instantly. Then in some maps you can blow stuff up. You see that little thing in the distance where it has like a directional pad. You can actually do that, and it'll cause an explosion. You can also have, at this point I have telekinesis, so now I can just throw a box at someone.
As expected.
So, and you can also lift stuff and put it in front of you to block like bullets and stuff like that. But the thing is, I think the game should have been a little bit longer enough to like really enjoy those abilities and whatnot. Yeah, see, and I blew up the thing when I did that. For that, and if you get the, I didn't think I was close enough for that. Oh, I got the one where you throw like 50 items at people throughout the game. One of the more useful abilities in the game is the lift ability, which I'll show you here in a second. I'm just buying all the abilities again, even though I don't really need to, because I've already maxed out all my experience and everything like that. Let's see. Let's just do all these abilities here. So you can highlight someone, and when you're shooting, you can only do this while you're aiming, and you can use your abilities that you see in the left reticle there. So one is you can lift, and it actually automatically lifts shields out of their hands, so you don't even need the bullets that shoot through energy shields, you know, anymore. And then I can lift a guy, and then see the See, when I shoot the telekinetic bullets, they just go really fast. So yeah, a good combination is doing the telekinetic bullets and the increased shooting rate, because it's gonna auto hit them as long as you're targeting the general area. And really the others really don't do anything, so there's no point in using those. Let me see what else. You can use lift for quite a while under any heat. If you press triangle, it gives you a bit of a shield, as you can see there. And then let's see what's the other one. Slam. So oh, and there's this one. I don't know if I have to have slam while I'm doing. Oh yeah, it just shoves them on the ground, so it's a way to take a few seconds to get yourself ready while they're doing whatever. And then, let's see, what's this square one again? I forgot. Drain health, which means it basically weakens them, so their life slowly goes down. I don't think it'll kills them, but it yeah, it's weakening them, but it's not. It doesn't straight up kill them until you shoot them. And then I can do this and put them in a box, and it's another way to just keep them at bay. I think you can even shoot through it too. And then one thing we can do is we can also do the explosion. And yeah, we just blow them up if they're in the general area. So. And then the other thing is you can find like these little intel things. If you grab them, it gives you more experience. So you can level up faster. So, but really, you could avoid them and just play the game again with all the experience. But I think that's okay. Let's go to the main menu. Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, I think it was well put together because there's no obvious bugs or glitches and stuff like that. And I guess it is supposed to be an ambiguous story. It's just, the thing is they were going for film noir, and I felt the main character didn't talk to himself enough, which is odd. You think you don't want that too much, but for me, usually a film noir is usually the main character will talk to himself, explain the situation and his thoughts, because that's usually that genre is like that, and they say it's film noir, but then they utilize it only sometimes. I guess they didn't want to like crowd the game with too much dialogue, but the thing is, it's such a short game and it's supposed to be such a focused endeavor. You think they would. I mean, and the graphics are nice. I mean, they have that comic book type of look and feel, so it definitely has its own image that has. And like I said, short and sweet for the most part. And it gives you what you need. It's just, I don't know, I feel like there's enough missing from the story, almost like there could easily be a sequel to this, which who knows. Or they wanted to just tell an interesting story about a man who just got caught up in a deal, higher ups, and he's just got caught in the middle and somehow survived. But they don't go into any more detail. Like, there's so much missing stuff, like not enough detail, no extra detail about the implant. Maybe he was super intelligent and he was trying to interact with you, and it did it in some cases. Or the lady who helps you out, obviously she was doing it to save her company and the implant you have. So when you choose to go back to Securitron, you're mainly helping her. But there's no more dialogue with her at the end of the game. It's just kind of ambiguous, which I guess is the point. So, I don't know, folks. I'm kind of split on this one. I don't want to say don't play it at all, but I also want to be like, well, I mean, there wasn't enough for me here. Like, I was expecting more. Maybe, like I said, maybe a sequel if they care to continue this or something like that. So, but yeah, I'd give the game a 5 out of 6, and I guess I'll leave it there. And so, what do you all think? Did you like the ending there, as abrupt as it was, and how the endings are based off your decisions throughout the game, only by the final choices? Don't you love that, where it's just like, oh, all this other stuff? No, it's just based on what you choose in the very end of the game, which is why people had an issue with a certain big, massive sci-fi RPG thing. But now, if you liked it, maybe buy it for yourself, or if you didn't like it, maybe save you a few bucks. But for me, I'm gonna send this back and get on to other games. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next game.